we're here today for some really exciting news that we have to share. This week, VirtualPBX is launching yet another product called VirtualText. Our Chief Product Officer, of course, has had a pretty big role in releasing that product. So, Lynn, can you introduce yourself and give us an idea of how you're connected to this exciting launch we have this week?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Linh England, and I am the Chief Product Officer at VirtualPBX, where I oversee a lot of the development and strategic directions for all of our products, including VirtualText, which we're launching this week. And part of that really is to ensure that our products and services that we deliver to our customer really meets their needs.
Awesome. And so I know VirtualPBX for years has offered some level of business texting on their business phone plans. So this is a maybe somewhat of a familiar ground, but also a little bit of a newer ground. Can you explain, what inspired us to do that? Why did we create this as a standalone service?
Well, the launching of VirtualText as a standalone product really stemmed from us recognizing that there's been a shift in the how businesses communicate with their customer base. The traditional communication method, like emails, really doesn't quite fit the fast-paced demand of the world today, of the modern world. And what a virtual text essentially does is it's a faster pace of communications that gives businesses the tools to engage with their customer where they're at without needing to add additional layers or technical configurations. It's pretty simple. You'll be able to text your customer, engage, offer them lots of value in that moment.
Awesome. It's interesting when we release products, often there's this layer of education that has to happen, but everybody texts. I know when the development of this product, having that to lean on has been pretty helpful for us just to understand that experience. So, given all of that, we're definitely in 2025, everyone is text messaging, and you've mentioned those higher levels of engagement for businesses. How does business texting, beyond that engagement, how is that a critical tool for businesses?
Well, it's definitely a more common tool for certain. Most businesses support consumers, and consumers love to send messages. It's something that they all have in terms of the cell phone. So it's an easy way to communicate with the customer on the go and be able to keep them updated, whether you're a new business starting out and need to have that high engagement with customer up front without taking away from all the other scope that you're doing within your business to scale it. Or you're an expanding business, the ability to kind of mass communicate with your customers and engage with them in real time without needing to have a large labor force to manage those communication. So having that kind of impact, and the fact that business messaging has a significant like real-time high engagement rate from customer base really helps business grow.
Definitely. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of use cases for virtual text out in the market. Are there any other use cases that you've seen as we're preparing to launch this product?
Absolutely. Virtual text has really been a core, relatively new communication type for businesses, from small business that are just starting out to growing business. If you picture, for example, a sole entrepreneur who's just starting out their business that's looking for a way to engage, they're choosing a business number to ensure that it's a dedicated number for the business and to communicate with their customer. If it was just a phone number that their customer can engage and call, it minimized their ability to kind of grow and expand and not allocate resource to other aspects of the business. With virtual text, we're enabling that dedicated number to become a medium of communication for that specific business. So now they've gone from being able to answer maybe one phone call and then kind of stopping their business in that moment to being able to communicate with multitude of customer, whether it's updating those customer on new orders, shipments, or just handling a customer support ticket to sending out some promotional or discounts. So there's various ways that businesses, especially new business, can leverage virtual text to communicate with their customer and to make sure that they're engaged as they're growing.
Reading between the lines there, clearly there's a difference for small businesses when they're approaching the virtual text product. And, it kind of matches, it sounds like, with a lot of other virtual PBX products where, historically, a lot of these larger enterprise businesses have access to tools that smaller businesses don't. Can you speak on that a little bit? How is virtual text in particular targeted for small businesses?
It is definitely a tool that you can start pretty quickly as a new business. There's not a lot of configurations or technical details that you have to get really into. The biggest barrier is really the SMS registration, where it is a requirement that for any business that want to communicate via text, that you have to complete this registration process. Now, we understand because it is a requirement as part of the compliance within the US, we do work with new businesses to ensure that they can fulfill the requirements, complete the process seamlessly, and be able to kind of start communicating with their customer from day one, as soon as the registration is completed. So we also have, dedicated resource to ensure that if they have any questions or any concerns on how to fill out these informations, or how to just set up their first text message, we're there to kind of help.
That's awesome. And I know, going in line with a lot of our other products, we've really worked through this product to see how we can make that process easier, how we can kind of level out any of those speed bumps that small businesses may face with other providers. I think the other exciting thing for small businesses, beyond just the ability to text their customers or their leads, is some of these extra features that they get that really let them, do more with what they have. And maybe we can get into a few of those. So in particular, I'm thinking about auto reply keywords and drip campaigns. Can you talk a little bit about how companies can use those to engage with their customer base?
Absolutely. So, you touch on one of my favorite features, keywords. It's a great way for businesses, small, large, growing, however they are, to be able to engage and give their customer information that are relevant to what their needs are in that moment. Keywords, specifically, like for example, if you're a customers that have placed an order and you want to find out about where the progress of your orders, they can use the keyword to text the business, and get the update on their order. From a business perspective, they can turn that particular keyword canned response into a QR code where they know that the customer is going to want an update on their orders or reminders, or any of the things related to that. They can just scan the QR code, have that message placed into their messaging app, and send it quickly without needing to type in the phone number. So it makes it easy for customers to communicate with you as a business, without needing to go into additional steps.
And I mean, the response time, how much quicker that is incredible. I'm trying to think through, without text messaging, without the ability to either, scan a QR code and immediately get that response, or send a message and get that response immediately, compared to sending an email and waiting, calling in and waiting, chatting in. I mean, that's like immediate customer service. That's awesome.
Absolutely. There's many different ways to do it. If you have CRMs that you use to manage your customers' data, you could use some webhooks to integrate your CRM systems, to sync the contact list, making sure that that syncs through with their texting platform, and then being able to communicate with those customers, know and recognize what their their current journey in your CRM process and be able to update them on those orders, manage their communications, and have that historical logs as you engage with them over a period of time. So leveraging those type of integrations is really helpful as well.
Speaking of integrations, I know VirtualText has a few integrations with other business tools. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yes, we have integrations with HubSpot and Pipedrive, which are some of the CRMs that a lot of businesses use. We also have other integrations that are directly related to more of like contact syncs, where you can sync contact directly from your Google Workspace. If you have Gmail, you can sync contact from Microsoft 365. So it just really depends on what platform you use to manage your customer engagement or customer data, be able to sync those information in, and then using the features that we have available through VirtualText, such as campaigns and Blast, to be able to segment the contact lists and then sending them different messages based off of where they are in your customer journey.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds a lot like the ethos of just texting in general, meeting customers where they are today. And I know for us as users of one of those CRMs that you mentioned, having our mission for our teams is really that's the one-stop shop, that you're able, when you go and you look at a customer record, to really understand everything that's going on with them. And of course, that should include text messaging. One thing that came up a little bit there, back a few questions ago, a lot of customers are utilizing multiple phone numbers. Can you explain how that works with VirtualText?
Absolutely. So we do have several features. One of the unique feature is share number. As a solution, VirtualText, when you're on board and you set up your main number, you have a dedicated number for your business for the most part. But if you are a type of business that are potentially growing and you want to allocate different phone number to different segments of the business, one for sales, one for support, for marketing, you can assign those number as separate number in terms of the channel of communications, and then run different campaigns from there. But the nice and convenient thing about it is you can share the numbers across the different users, which then give your business the ability to kind of scale without needing the additional resource to manage those communications. Multiple users can text from one number and then switch over to the other to start the communication from there separately as well. So it really gives businesses the tool to share numbers across all of their users, complete different campaigns or setup and communication style for different segments of their business, whether it's supporting their existing customer base or expanding to more of a lead gen using different numbers.
Nice. And really draw the lines where they need to. I can certainly see times where marketing is running campaigns, and maybe there's a multiple person marketing campaign where they're all working on those together, but they don't necessarily need to know what's going on with sales or with support. And those also may have teams of people that are helping to answer those questions. So really just the ability to decide, who is in charge of what, and the ability to let folks share the responsibility.
Yes, absolutely. And the beauty of it is it does give you a nice change log where it notates who's the sender. So you can always see clearly in the conversation thread, all right, if you have multiple user in the account, who's the one responding to this customer? Has this customer been responded to? And then continue that communication thread with that customer's based off of whoever's in your team.
That's awesome. I know we've covered some of the features, and it's really just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of features underneath all of our plans. But speaking of that, we have released VirtualText with 3 levels of plans. We have Spark, Engage, and Amplify. How should businesses choose between those 3 different plans?
It really depends on your business use case. As a new business and you're just looking for a new way to communicate with your customer, meeting them where they're at, Spark might be a good plan for you to just start out. As you grow and expand, you might want to look into Engage and Amplify, where we have the additional features that offer things like drip campaigns and blasts and schedule reminders. Those features are intended to kind of really expand and grow your business. So you can pre-set up whether it's an onboarding drip campaign or lead generations, or if you want to offer large promotion to a huge list of customers, you can send them blasts. So those are more of advanced features. It gives you the ability to engage with the customer at a larger output. So there's typically a larger volume associated to the larger plan. But as you're easing your way in, you can definitely start out with Spark or any of our plans. It's designed so that you can easily grow as your business grows.
I mean, that sounds wonderful. So after a business chooses the plan that they want to start out with, what does that look like? What does the process for getting started look like? How does registration work?
Efficiently as possible for businesses, because we know that everyone's busy and we want to make sure that you can scale. So our sign up process is self sign up. Once you choose the plan, you complete the business information. Depending on the type of business you have, there may be additional information required, but those are all core information that's related to your business. Then you just specify what your intended use case are. We also, in this process, while you're completing the registration information, if there's anything that's standing out to you or you have any questions, our team is available via text, chat, or email for you to ask any questions. Once you've completed that registration information, then you just simply submit it. Our team behind the scene will verify the information and ensuring that you have all the requirements so that you can get approval for the registration. We are so sure of our process and how seamless it is. We won't be processing any charge until your registration has been completed and approved. So that's part of our commitment, is to ensure that the process is seamless and that you get the level of support that you need as you're progressing through the sign up flow. And then our team is available with updates throughout the process. Just keep in mind that the registrations, when we pass the information to the TCR, which is the campaign registry, they handle all the registration for businesses. So it is a separate entity. But once we've pass information to them and we get the approval, we do update you throughout the whole process. And the moment that it gets approved, our product specialists for VirtualText will be available to help you set up your account as needed. And then we'll walk you through how to send your first message.
That's so exciting. We have a lot planned for this week with this launch. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me and answer a few questions. For those that are watching, VirtualText is now available on virtualpbx.com/virtualtext, as well as directly on virtualtext.com. Our team is standing by 24/7 for any kind of questions that you have before or even during your sign up. So thanks again, Lynn, for taking the time with us, and have a great day, everyone.
Absolutely.